So on paper, the Galaxy Note 9 is, damn it. So on paper, the Galaxy, damn it. I'm just gonna put that down. So on paper, the Galaxy Note 9 is really impressive by today's standards, but it starts at $1,000, which by today's standards is bloody expensive. Like, some of us are gonna have to sell our current phone, sign a 2-year contract, and make a stop off at the sperm bank to afford this bastard. But it's not the first high-end phone to reach that price point, and I'll be honest, you do get a lot for the money. The 6.4-inch 2960 by 1440 Super AMOLED display is mental. Plain and simple, there's just nothing better. And considering the display is a pretty damn important feature on a smartphone, having the best is pretty satisfying. It gets super bright, so it's incredibly visible outdoors. Colors are, of course, redonkulous, and that resolution just makes everything so damn crisp and clear. The dual speaker setup on this guy sounds fantastic, probably in part to the size of the phone acting a bit like a resonance chamber, but either way, it gets loud and sounds full. But wait, is that a headphone port? Why yes it is. Proof it can still be done. The fingerprint reader is stupid fast, but I'm still seeing it struggle with wet or slightly sweaty fingers, and while the placement is easier to reach, it's really flush with the back, so I keep feeling like a blind man trying to slip a single to a stripper's G-string. Anyways, performance is great. My review unit is the Snapdragon 845 variant with 6 gigs of RAM. Of course, you can always splurge on the version with 8 gigs of RAM, but I think 6 gigs is the sweet spot with Android right now. And I'd be surprised if you could tell a difference between the 8 gig and 6 gig versions, but it's been flawless so far and a dream to work with. There's a new cooling system in the Note 9 that a lot of media, including some YouTubers, have made a big deal about. So it's there and it does its job, but the only time it'll really benefit you is if you're gaming for long periods of time, because it'll do a better job of preventing thermal throttling. Other than that, on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't really benefit you. Even heavy multitasking won't get most phones to the point where they need a form of water cooling. So just be aware of that and don't fall into the marketing hype trap, especially if you're not planning on doing any serious mobile phone gaming. The S Pen's never really been a big hit with me. I've just never really needed it. Over the course of a year, there's probably only ever been like 1 or 2 times I'd say, man, having an S Pen sure would have been handy, because then I just zoom in or whatever and use my fingers. This year though, it comes with a couple of neat new features that I'd still probably never use, but cool enough to cover in this video. So using the button on the S Pen to take pictures is pretty nifty. I can see that coming in handy for folks who take a lot of group pictures, or those who don't mind looking like a weirdo in public, positioning the phone and taking a few steps back while trying to hide the S Pen in their pocket or something. And controlling music with it's a thing, and it's pretty neat too, but I just don't see too much practicality or use case scenarios with that one. The cameras are the same as what we got on the S9 Plus, 2 12 megapixels on the back and an 8 megapixel on the front, which still produce awesome looking images with good dynamic range, great detail, and awesome colors. But this year they've given us object recognition. It's a feature you can turn on or off. Personally, I just left it off because I just wasn't happy with how the phone decided what looked best. It's not terrible, but I just don't think object recognition auto adjustments are quite there yet. But either way, awesome cameras. Battery life, yeah buddy. 4,000 milliamp hours got me through a day and a half over and over again. I think I had one day I was fairly light on it and I just barely made it to bed at around midnight with like 10% left. But wrapping up, the Note 9 comes with a ton of hype behind it that Samsung's using to help justify the price. You got the Fortnite download behind it, you've got the new S Pen features, you've got water cooling, but none of that is worth $1,000. What does make this phone worth $1,000 to me is the best display on the market, the performance, the battery life, and the cameras. I just wish we could start moving away from, or at least have the option to choose between a glass back or something like plastic or metal. Like, Gorilla Glass means nothing to me anymore. Resale value is something everyone needs to think about, and having a glass phone that's scratched to shit doesn't exactly bring all the boys to the yard, you know what I mean? Anyways, I think that does it for this one. As usual, I'll be hanging out in the comments for a bit, so let me know if you think the $1,000 price tag is worth all the hype. Like, does having water cooling, a couple new S Pen features, and a Fortnite download entice you enough to spend $1,000? Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, show me some love with that like button, and if you're new to my stuff, maybe subscribe for new videos every week. But thanks as always for watching, and I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Cheers.